subscribe to Factly and hit the bell icon for updates.
Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Decode. In today's episode, we are going to talk about parliamentary committees and more specifically, the standing committees in Parliament. A standing committee is nothing but a committee which ensures people are standing when the UNESCO awarded world's best national anthem is being played. Before a case of sedition is slapped on me, let's talk about what standing committees actually are and their role in the functioning of the Parliament of India. And I promise not to add any more sitting or standing puns till the end of this episode. Parliamentary committees are committees that may be appointed or elected by the Lok Sabha or Rajyasabha, or also nominated by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha to examine legislative issues at length. These committees sometimes end up acting as mini legislatures, not only by providing legislative support to the two houses but also by helping them observe the actions of the executive. If we are to look at the main positive attributes of parliamentary committees, this would be one, that it makes more sense for a committee of around 30 people to examine a specific topic in depth as opposed to a house of hundreds. Two, these committees share the inputs of experienced people on important issues and sometimes even of the common people who may be directly affected by the law in question. Three, as these committees go about their work without the public eye watching them every step of the way, the members of the committees can focus on the matter at hand without letting their specific constituency related pressure affect them. And four, anti-defection laws do not apply to standing committees, which means that such a committee's members can do their work without being restricted by party lines. Five, most of these committees are made of people from different parties, so you get a variety of opinions on the same issue. Parliamentary committees may be divided into two basic types. First, you have standing committees that are appointed on an annual or periodic basis and their work goes on almost continuously. Second, there are ad hoc committees which are appointed for a specific purpose and work for a limited amount of time. An ad hoc committee ceases to exist once it has fulfilled its prescribed duties. So essentially, a standing committee is like the police force. It's always on and active, ready to do its work, while the ad hoc committees are like the special investigation teams constituted for special cases. Let us turn our gaze to the standing committees now. Among the different types of standing committees, there are three types of finance committees that form a distinct group, as these committees continuously monitor the expenditure and financial performance of the government. These are 1. Committees on estimates, the members of which are drawn entirely from the Lok Sabha. 2. Committees on public accounts, and 3. Committees on public undertakings. These last two are made of members of both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In addition to these finance-related standing committees, the Rule Committee of the Lok Sabha recommended the setting up of department-related standing committees or DRSCs. Accordingly, 17 DRSCs were set up on 8th April 1993 and now there are 24 DRSCs in all. A bunch of committees set up on the recommendation of another committee. These guys sure know how to create employment for themselves. Please also create more employment for the Aam Janta like us. We are tired of selling pakoras, you see. Okay, back to DRSCs. The primary function of these DRSCs are 1. To look into the demands for grants made by the various ministries or departments of the government and make reports to the houses after their study, as was the case when the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy asked for new grants in 2018-19. 2. To study bills submitted to them by either the chairman of the Rajya Sabha or the Speaker of the Lok Sabha and submit their reports on these. For example, when the Lok Sabha Speaker referred the Benami Transaction Prohibition Amendment Bill 2015 to a standing committee. 3. To consider and make reports on annual reports of the ministries and departments of government, as with the 2015 report of the Committee on External Affairs. And 4. To scrutinize policy documents presented in the houses and make reports on them, if referred by the chairman of the Rajya Sabha or the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, which is what happened when the Standing Committee on Agriculture put out a report on the development of inland fisheries Reports, reports, and more reports. Are these parliament committees or a bunch of overworked Indian news reporters? Of course, a big part of the work these committees do is studying issues and making reports about them. But here's the thing, they can only do this when the issues are actually taken to them for consideration. In the 14th Lok Sabha, from 2004 to 2009, about 60% of the bills introduced in the House were referred to various standing committees. This figure rose to 71% in the 15th Lok Sabha from 2009 to 2014. However, the 16th Lok Sabha from 2014 to 2019 only referred some 25% of the bills introduced in the House to standing committees. Does the government think, why ask for opinion when the expert is in-house? Bills on important issues like the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Amendment Bill that was introduced in the Lok Sabha in 2019 and the bill for increasing maternity benefits in the budget session of 2017 were taken without first referring them to standing committees. In fact, when the controversial Triple Talaq Bill was brought before the Rajyasabha after comfortably being passed by the Lok Sabha in December 2018, the opposition leaders demanded that the bill be sent to a committee comprising members of both the opposition and the government first. However, the government refused this. In such cases, MPs have very little time to scrutinize the proposed bill and hardly any feedback from experts to rely on before deciding whether to vote for the bill or not. And even when standing committees actually get involved in policy making, it's not always serious policy making. Take, for instance, an advertisement released in the newspaper by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat's House Committee inviting suggestions on the management of monkeys and dogs in MPs' residential areas in Delhi. That's as important as national security, huh? But Indian farmers have been talking about the monkey menace they face in their fields for years now, and all they get from their MPs are Gandhi ji ke teen mandar. But luckily for us, it's not all bad news. According to a report of the Standing Committee on Railways submitted in 2019, 37,689 bridges in our railway networks are at least 100 years old. But the Railways doesn't classify these separately. The Railways Ministry was of the opinion that only the physical condition of the bridge and not its age should be taken into consideration in the classification of bridges. Guess they don't believe in ageism, huh? Chal raha hai, chalne do. But the committee disagreed and recommended that the ministry come up with a protocol for the inspection and maintenance of these bridges, so that on the one hand, there is a greater degree of safety for travellers, while on the other, commercial interests are kept intact too. So while we don't always realize it, parliamentary committees play a vital role in the designing of policy and the process of lawmaking in our country. And so, when we study a new bill or act, we need to look not just at its content or with what agenda it may have been introduced, but also try to understand the process that was followed in drafting it. Whether there were any important recommendations made on it, and whether these recommendations were followed or not. And when we come across a request for our opinion on some policy matter from a parliamentary committee, let us not shy away from making our voice heard. With that, we come to the end of this episode. Join us on the next episode as we talk about the face of the Lok Sabha, the Speaker. Until then, like and share this video and leave us a comment with your feedback. Thanks for watching.
भैया मेरा वोटर आईडी कराओ।
लैंड रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा दो।
मेरा स्कॉलरशिप।
फाइल माई आईटीआर। दूसरा फॉर्म लेके आ। रूल पता है क्या? रजिस्ट्रेशन कहाँ है? बाद में आओ, टाइम लगेगा। लंच के बाद।
Is there a simple way to understand government rules?